enough of it. So that would have taught us a lesson and been a learning curve. But have we learned? Yeah. On to Jayanta Vijay, who is an environmentalist. You are a hands-on environmentalist. What is your greatest fear? Is there any hope to put things right and educate us all? How can we protect the environment?
Well, thank you for the Art Television, first of all, initiating a dialogue like this. I think it's very timely after COVID-19 and the realizations we had during the pandemic. And it's very important that we first understand what's happening around us and what is exactly climate change and how it impacts Sri Lanka. Now there's two sides of the coin. When it comes to climate change, there is this section of people that use climate change as an excuse to continue the destruction, while there is another side of another section of the community or public who put the blame on the climate change for whatever the internalized destruction that we are doing. Therefore, we need to be able to understand the climate change impacts, how it happens, and what internally as a country we could do in order to avoid or to mitigate the outcomes, the adverse effects of climate change. We have seen, like Otara very correctly mentioned before, and Dr. Ranil mentioned before, our consumption patterns and how we have seen the development over the last few decades have resulted in numerous disasters, from landslides, floods, and then droughts, and eventually ended up with a lot of economic impacts over such disasters. For instance, we had 2 years consecutively where there were 4 districts without any rain at all, and farmers had to give up farming, and paddy cultivation was not possible, and the coconut plantations had a huge hit, and the coconut went for over 100 rupees, and then the paddy was also the same, the rice was also the same. So that is how the climate change or the drought, or for that matter floods, we have seen in 2016-17 mostly. 2016, if I'm not mistaken, the Kalani River flooding, and in 2017 the River Kalu flooding. All these have displaced more than 100,000, easily more than 100,000 people, and we lost about 250 odd lives in 2017. Now, all these are impacts of the adverse climate changes that have happened over the years, and that our capacity to deal with climate change related disasters have been a great concern, because we basically destroy all our ecosystems, whether it's riverine ecosystems, whether it's wetlands, whether it's mountains that we have removed the forest covers of them, and whether it's dry zone forest, and all these places we have basically utilized for the so-called development, and that has eventually resulted in significant destruction, and it has come to a point that we need to realize what is going on, and that like I said, these two sides of the coin need to understand that while there is the climate change happening and it is a global norm, that there is so much that internally we do that contributes to our internal climate changes, and also that eventually impacts the global climate change as well in a probably regional level. So that understanding that and ensuring that our destruction, that the rate of the destruction currently is dealt with, and thereby we are improving the current situation and reducing the disasters which impacts our economy, health, environment and everything else, and that we will never progress further despite whatever the development strategies that the policy makers are bringing in, because our environmental destruction, end of the day, will eventually reverse everything else.
Thank you, Jayanta. It's so informative. I think you can write volumes on what you know. I hope the viewers understand the reality. This is the truth. Now on